Because today is a holiday, I'm going to read two sweet pickle stories. They sort of go together. One is Who Can Trust You, Kangaroo? And the other is Fixed by Camel. So first one, Who Can You Trust, Kangaroo? Hippo was jogging around Kangaroo's house one morning. Suddenly he heard a cry from inside. "Help!" the voice called. "I'm stuck in here." Hippo rushed over. "Hold on," he puffed. "I'll help you." "Push the door open," called the voice. Hippo pushed and pushed. The door flew open with a crash, and Hippo went tumbling in. Splash! A bucket of water dumped on his head. "Ugh! Oof!" groaned Hippo. "I'm all wet. What happened?" "Ha ha!" laughed Kangaroo. "It was just a joke and you fell for it." "What about your call for help?" asked Hippo. "Weren't you in trouble?" "Nope," giggled Kangaroo. "I was only kidding. I just wanted to have some fun." "That's not a very nice thing to do," grumbled Hippo. "You should never call for help unless you really need it." "Ha ha! I was only kidding," laughed Kangaroo. "And it's not nice to dump water on people either," shouted Hippo as he jogged off in his wet sneakers. Splish, splosh, splish, splosh. Fish was riding her motorcycle past the park when she heard a shout. "Help!" cried a voice. "Help me! Hurry, help!" Fish gunned her engine. Vroom! She swerved onto the grass. "Help!" screeched the voice from behind the bushes. "Don't worry," shouted Fish. "It's Fearless Fish to the rescue." Fish zoomed around the tree, shot past the bench, and flew over the bushes. Vroom! She landed right in the pond. Sploosh. Kangaroo sat on the edge of the pond, holding his sides and laughing and giggling. "Looks like you need help, Fish," he laughed. "Ha ha!" "Was that you calling for help?" screamed Fish. "Yep," laughed Kangaroo, "but I was only kidding." "That's not a nice thing to do," yelled Fish. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself." Fish dragged her motorcycle out of the pond and sputtered off. Vroom! "It may not be nice," snickered Kangaroo, "but it sure was funny." Kangaroo left the park and started to walk down 5th Street. "Wonder what I can do next," he thought. "It sure is a quiet day." He turned the corner and walked past Hippo's house. Whoa. Rabbit was next door, working in his garden. Kangaroo heard Rabbit humming to himself as he worked. "Oh boy," he grinned, "I've got a great joke to pull on Rabbit." Kangaroo snuck around the garage very quietly and started to pull in the garden hose. Rabbit was busy hoeing and mowing when suddenly he heard a shout. "Help!" he cried. "Help me!" Rabbit dropped his hoe and rushed over to the garage. The voice seemed to be coming from inside. Rabbit pulled the door up. Splash! Water rushed out of the hose with a whoosh. It knocked Rabbit over and soaked him completely. "Oh," he moaned. "Oh my, what happened?" Kangaroo was inside the garage, sitting on Rabbit's workbench and aiming the hose. He was laughing and laughing. Tears ran out of his eyes. "Ha ha, hoo ha," he laughed. "You're the funniest thing I've seen all day. Ha ha." "I think that it is rude and dangerous," yelled Rabbit, "and I must ask you to leave my garage this minute." "I was only kidding," laughed Kangaroo as he trotted off. Kangaroo was passing the car wash when he had another idea. "I know," he grinned. "There's time for one more great joke before supper, and I know just what it is." He looked into the car wash. It was closed for the day. Kangaroo pushed the door open and peered inside. It was dark and empty. He went in. "This will be great," he giggled. "I'll just sit here in the dark with my hand on the water switch. I can see it now. I hear folks walk by. I scream for help. They rush in. I hit the switch and blam, they get all wet. Ha ha. Kangaroo sat and waited. Rabbit and Hippo were walking outside Hippo's house when Fish drove by. We have to do something about Kangaroo, said Rabbit. I'm awfully tired of getting soaked. Me too, huffed Hippo. He even got me wet. He even got me today, yelled Fish. He's a menace. It's not only that, said Rabbit. The things he's doing can be dangerous. Let's see if we can get him to stop, said Hippo. They started off down the street toward Kangaroo's house. They turned down 4th Street and walked past the car wash. They heard a screech from inside. Help! Screamed the voice. Help me! Said Rabbit. That voice sounds familiar. I'll check, said Fish. She climbed up on a box and peered in the window. It's Kangaroo, all right. He's in there with his hand on the water switch. Help! Screeched the voice again. Hippo smiled. I have an idea, he whispered. Come on. Rabbit and Fish followed Hippo around the car wash and quietly locked the back door. They locked the front door. Then they locked all the windows and waited. Kangaroo kept on shouting for help. Pretty soon, Kangaroo got tired of shouting. I was sure I heard someone out there, he mumbled. Well, this is no fun. I think I'll go home. Kangaroo went to the front door. He tried to open it. It was locked. That's funny, he thought. He ran to the back door. He tried it. It was locked. Hey, he shouted, what's going on? He ran to all the windows. They were locked. Kangaroo started to pound on the doors with his fists. Hey, he screamed, help! In here! I'm stuck in here! Help me! Kangaroo cried and wailed and shouted and banged on the door. Help! He screeched. Help me! He wailed and yelled and kicked and pounded until his voice was hoarse. Then he started to cry. I'm stuck in here, he sobbed. I'll be stuck here all night. This isn't very funny. Suddenly he heard a voice at the window. The voice said, No, it isn't funny, is it, Kangaroo, when the joke is on you? Okay, said Kangaroo. Let me out. Rabbit, Hippo, and Fish unlocked the door and let Kangaroo out of the car wash. Now you know how we feel when you play tricks on us, they said. I hope we can trust you from now on. Sure you can, smiled Kangaroo. That was a pretty good trick. I'll have to try it out on someone else soon. Ha ha. Fixed by Camel. One morning, Camel was fixing a pipe under Main Street when Kangaroo came along and slammed the cover shut over the manhole. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Cried Camel. I'm only kidding, giggled Kangaroo. Ha ha. Fine, said Camel. Then open the cover so I can get out. You're a clever Camel, called Kangaroo. Do it yourself. Kangaroo sat down on the curb and howled with delight. Very funny, muttered Camel. But Camel was clever. She could fix just about anything. Camel thought a moment, then she filled a big balloon with helium and let it go. Whoosh! Up went the balloon, off went the cover, and out came Camel. Kangaroo hopped over and gave Camel a hearty thump. I knew you could do it, Camel, he said. Camel didn't answer. You're not angry, are you? Asked Kangaroo. I was only kidding. Ha ha. Very funny, said Camel, and went off to work. Camel was up on a roof banging a broken shingle when Kangaroo came along and took the ladder away. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Yelled Camel. I'm only kidding, chortled Kangaroo. Ha ha. Fine, said Camel, then put the ladder back. Then it wouldn't be funny anymore, said Kangaroo. Anyway, can't you think of a way down? You can fix anything. Very funny, said Camel. She took out a rope, tied it around the chimney, and slid down. Bravo, clapped Kangaroo. Very funny, said Camel again, and went off to work. Camel was mixing cement for a hole in the sidewalk when she saw Kangaroo peeking around the corner. She thought. The minute I spread the wet cement, Kangaroo is sure to stick his feet in it. His kidding has got to stop. Then Camel said in a very loud voice, "Oh dear, I forgot a special job I must do in the park. I'll pour the cement for this sidewalk later." Camel went off to the park. Kangaroo followed. First, Camel painted 3 park benches. She had put up signs, "Wet paint, do not touch," and hid behind a tree. Kangaroo came hopping along and began to scratch his name in the wet paint. Good, thought Camel, that'll keep him busy for a while. Then Camel hurried over to the playground. She knitted a net, draped it over a tall pole, and stuck it in the middle of the jungle gym. Then she took out some motors and gears and extension cords and ran back and forth between the jungle gym and the drinking fountain. Then she tied a doorbell to the pole and nailed up a large sign. "Danger! Do not ring doorbell under any circumstances." Finally, she put 2 peanut butter sandwiches and a quart of milk inside the jungle gym and sat down to wait. Kangaroo came bounding into the playground. "Oh, there you are," he called to Camel. "What are you fixing now?" "I'm resting," said Camel. "I had a special job to finish." "Oh, goody," Kangaroo cried with delight. "A danger sign." "Ha ha." "I wouldn't go near that if I were you," said Camel. Kangaroo climbed up to have a closer look. "Whatever you do, don't ring that bell," warned Camel. "Ha ha," laughed Kangaroo. He pressed the button as hard as he could. Whoosh! "Hey," yelled Kangaroo, "what kind of joke is this?" "A practical one," said Camel calmly. "Have a snack. I'll see you later when the cement on my sidewalk is dry." Fixed by Camel.